Oh god, here we go again. Bubble wrap and bubble wrap. Yeah, wish me luck. Well, guess fucking what? Yes, I am gonna fucking swear, because every fucking time... Oh look, what's broken in the packaging? A buffer. Oh look, what's broken in the packaging? A buffer. Guess what? Everyone has got busted because shoving it in a piece of bubble wrap and then a jiffy bag is not adequate protection to post anything. Guess I'll be doing an eBay return, and guess what? I'll send it back in a frickin' box. We got mail call again. It's took quite a trek, this lot. I think it was delayed because of Chinese New Year, and then in AliExpress's infinite wisdom they keep using Belgian post to send UK stuff. Sometimes it goes raw mail, but more often than not I guess they've done some kind of deal. It gets shipped to Belgian post and then sits there for God knows how long in Liège in Belgium, and they don't even send me a nice Belgian beer as compensation for the wait. I've even had one sat there so long I got my money back because I claimed it was a lost parcel. So there should be 100 micro switches here for those little wooden servo mounts that I featured in a previous video. So that gives me provision to put 2 of those on each mount. So these will suffice for either that or some other little operations that need micro switches. And another delivery of yet more. Again, this was along, I don't know, 5 weeks now. Seems longer, but it's not. I think these are 50 gram if I remember correctly. They might be 30s. They look well stuffed. Again, it's just a lighter, a little foam flock to use on the trees and vegetation for scenics in the future. So they finally arrived, so I'm actually caught up from China for once. I don't know whether to order some other bits I want or leave it until in case things escalate in the world situation and China starts sticking their oar in. Now, if you'll recall my last outburst of rage and disgust of yet another item I received in the post that's bloody broken, I obviously opened a dispute with the intention of sending them back. As you can see, I've still got them. There was a little, not an argument, but he's misinformed as to regards of when you select no returns accepted on your eBay listings choices. That doesn't mean you opt out of accepting returns when there's an issue or you haven't described it incorrectly. What that means is if I change my mind and want to send it back, like you would do with distant selling regulations, you have the option of not accepting it back because someone changes their mind. If there is an issue with it, like it's damaged or not as described, the items, the no returns policy isn't covered by that. So I was going into the depth of explaining that to him, that it's not an opt-out because when you post something it's still your liability until the buyer receives the goods. That's English, policy law. So they are now in my possession permanently. We came to an agreement of £20 reduction. So essentially I got them for 18 quid. And 2 of them aren't, I can, attempt to glue back the broken buffer, or I might see if I can have a look in my box. I don't think I've got any oval ones. Well, they're slightly oval with the edges cut off them. I don't know what pattern bogey these are, whether they're one of the oleo types or whatever. These are a lemur, so some of their stuff's a bit oddball. It does match up to the Hornby tankers that I had in the other one video. Detailing's not as clear, although obviously these are a lot older. And looking on the interwebs, the total ones did have these ladders because they look a little bit toy-like. But these ladders were featured. Some of them had, you know, one going around both sides. And obviously this is a moulded detail as opposed to the Hornby one where the walkway is fixed on. Although again, looking at the pictures, they were a lower profile, so when you look at them at this angle, if you look online at some of the pictures, they're not a million miles out. And because they haven't cost me a huge sum of money, I mean 18 quid with the postage, I suppose about £22. Well, people are paying second hand that for one item, one tank wagon, which is why I jumped on the chance of buying the other ones, because they were virtually new, and people are paying silly money for them at the minute. So they are the same size, so they'll fit in. They don't look slightly undersized like some of the lemur stuff is HO and just rebranded for the market at the time. So I'm going to attempt a minor repair or replacement of the buffer. The worst one is obviously it's got a cracked buffer beam, although it may glue back in. At the end of the day, I'm going to know it's there, but anyone else looking at it ain't going to see it. And no one's going to know on the video apart from you guys, because you already know. So, crisis averted, I guess. So, the next little segment is I met up with Sean 00 Heaven at the Kings Lynn Model Railway exhibition. And we had a little wander around there. I managed to get one video which I'll show coming up next. Actually, we were so busy gas bagging, there was another piece upstairs that we never noticed. So, oh well, I'll have to go next year and see that bit.
We're there for 5 years afterwards. There was no track.
Well, where others fail, Orwell Models, which is I think part of Coastal DCC, succeeded. Yes, well, I am, yeah. Put the wrong one in the box. See, he even tapes it so that it doesn't conveniently fall out of a split box, as I dare say he's probably had that happen when someone's claimed to have lost something. So he tapes them in the box. So at long last, a Class 60 TTS chip. Just hope the bloody thing works. And also taped into the bottom of the box. Something else I've been meaning to get, but just basically to justify the cost of the postage, I added, can you see in the bubble wrap, it's the refueling Dewberry What's It. Hang on, let's get it out of the packaging, shall we? So what the kit is actually that. The floating roof they show there is the option you can change for different style roofs. Now I am looking to do like a double one, so I don't know whether I'm going to have to scratch build something or maybe find a part of one of these kits or something. And I'm also after the ground pipe fittings for fuel tankers when they're parked up. That the hoses would connect to the bottom of the oil tank, TEAs and such like, and then obviously empty underground and then pumped to your storage tanks, which I think, I will show it if I can find it, but I think it's been discontinued. Yeah, that's the other elusive little item I'm looking for. Pictures of it aren't very good, but basically it's for obviously dropping the fuel out the bottoms of the tanks. Those hoses would connect up to the tank outlets, and obviously underground pipe work to your storage tanks, or presumably you could pump into the tanks, but no one seems to stock it, and it's sort of years rather than months, so it makes me wonder if Nightwing have it on their site just as out of stock, but I presume they don't make it anymore, or they've damaged the moulding and can't make it anymore, or don't see the point in producing it. It's anywhere between 10 and 17.99, but no one has it in stock, and I can't find any better pictures to at least sort of gather enough information or even scratch build one, because I think that's probably what will end up happening, because I can't even use that as a basis and then sort of extend it by scratch building. So who knows? I'm not too worried about it at the minute, because obviously I haven't got a layout anyway. So in there we've got some white metal bits and option on the roofing, so that might come in for something else somewhere else, and I might need to use that as a copy. There's another Nightwing kit. It was £10.75 from Orwell's, which is a bit cheaper than it was on eBay, obviously factoring in postage. I'd already covered the cost of this on. And if you are after a class 60 chip, at the time I'm doing this he had one left. And I think it was £38, which is probably about the most I've paid for a bloody TTS chip. Update, as this is a few days after probably another segment of this video, if it's all the same, I've done a chargeback request on my credit card company, which they're now processing, or they will give me an answer within 6-7 days. I also reported it to Action Fraud, so I got a crime number as well. So there is something down on national records. Should anyone bring a case against him, they have got more than one claim. I know a couple of the guys have done it. So yeah, that's it for this week. I think probably longer than it needed to be, as per usual.